Good morning. How are you doing? Good, and I pray that you're doing wonderful. Today's podcast is a very, very important podcast. I tune in to lots of different talk shows and I admire the things that I see. Now, one talk show, well, it's not a talk show, it is a truth cast, is what I call it, hosted by Roland Martin. Um, he has ventured out, and what he points out to Blacks around the world is the mistreatment of Black people. He called that show crazy ass white people because these people are boldly calling Black people the N word and challenging them, uh, just testing, I guess, what I would say, trying to test to see if they could get away with it. In every segment I have seen, every take that he has rolled has me wondering why they do what they do. Why do they test us? And what I know with my experience of living in Black America is the problem with Black people when we get mistreated. Me living here, I am mistreated by Black people. That's never talked about. I've heard so many people putting out there on the news and in different places, different areas, different towns, everything about how Blacks are mistreated and killed by racist white people. Well, the hidden truth from my experience is neighborhood hatred, discrimination of Blacks by Blacks that ventures out into the world. And the reason, as far as I could see, why our people are mistreated and killed by racist white people is because they look at how we do each other and they figure, hey, they don't like each other either. So why should we love them? Okay. Now this is what I'm getting from the racist white people who do what they do to Black people when we're alone or maybe even out in the open at grocery stores and 7-Elevens, the Alabama broil, and I saw that and everything. And I commend every Black person who stood up for that brother because he was simply doing his job and he got gamed by racist white men. As I look at more and I see what happens, the hidden truth is some Black people are against their own people. Why is that? We don't know. As what a lot of people would say. We don't know. We don't know what it is. We are all different people. We are not the same. We are not judged by our character amongst each other. Change is feared by Black people who have not changed their lives. And the other ones, like myself, have changed. We're not afraid of change. We're not afraid to voice our opinion against Black people, our people either. I am a voice, a Black voice that is crying out, so that my people could be treated equally amongst themselves. Now, if you have potential to move in the right direction, in the hood, you're discriminated against. If you have a colorful past of addiction and you changed your life for the better, you're discriminated against. If you don't chime in and act ignorant, careless, unreasonable, you are hated by our people if you're Black. That is not cool. I was watching a show and a brother was talking about how a white man, his family, and their dog could walk in the hood and not be touched, not be yelled at or cursed out by Blacks in that area. But if a Black man or a Black woman who is different, who don't fit in, do this, they'll be cursed out or jumped on. Now, daily, as I go on with my life, and I'm substance abuse free, 12 years clean from crack, cocaine, 3 years clean from marijuana. I gather strength from my ancestors, how they put up with what was happening to them in their lives in those days. Now, the faces have changed. The skin color has changed. If you were to go back and look at our history of being lynched and being hanged, oh my God, if you have any sense, you would know that's wrong. And then you come back up here to 2025 and you go along the lines and you see how Black people treat Black people. They have traded places with these racist white people from back in the day. If you are a Black female in the hood and you don't dance to the music, they will talk about you. They talk about Black women with other men of other races, white men, Indian men, Arabs. It doesn't matter. Once they have put a label on a Black woman, it is supposedly, it's harmful and it sticks. But it only sticks in the mind of the ignorant, not the wise. It sticks in the mind of the ignorance. And that's what racist white people do. They judge us by how we treat each other in the inner city, in the hoods. A Black man who is trying to get himself together, may have some skills, can sing or whatever, he's killed. He's discriminated against by our people. And if you can't see that issue, that's a problem if a white person can walk in the hood unharmed and a Black person cannot do that. There's something wrong there. And I know I am not the only one that sees this. I probably am the only one that's going to speak out about it. But that's good trouble, not bad trouble. Good trouble changes things. Bad trouble, it messes things up. Now, I looked at the show, Crazy Ass White People, and I looked at it, the 7/11 issue, the Alabama boat issue, the white woman at Days Inn that spit on the sister, the little Black girls that's been snatched, shot to death by her braids, the other young lady at the pool party being thrown down by two white cops and her business hanging out, and she's screaming, "Call my mama." I looked at all of these. The young lady at the college who was racially insulted by two racist white students and got expelled. Mm. The young lady working in Sophia Rosing wanted to fight with her, calling her names. She kept her composure. That is great that she did that. She showed strength. I see these shows. I see the tapes. I'm watching Jennifer Hudson the other day, and there's a little black girl twisting up and doing grown women movements, being taught by another grown black woman how to twist up in the air like that, stick her tongue out. When black little girls are judged as sex symbols from that age on up to our adulthood, that's not cool. We have to teach our girls to think above their waist, not below. Little black girls are harmed in the family by men who are supposed to protect us. A sleepover will claim your innocence. That's what happened to Mary J. Blige, but it didn't stop her. I too am a victim of child molestation, child rape. Growing up, trying to mask that pain with drugs, went down a spiraling road of destruction, then self destruction. In my mental health. And now, as a grown woman, on the right path, making great decisions, doing meaningful and purposeful things in life, I am discriminated against because of my strength, because of my past, and that is not fair. This issue needs to be addressed. I saw when the white guy went to a black man's house, all up in his face. When that white cop showed up, it seemed like he knew that white man because he said, okay, go home. I'll talk to you after a while. Let me find out what's going on. And that's what he did. He went home, but he still said monkey niggas and all kind of other bad names and gave out his address. And blacks showed up. That's great. That's really great. I called the cops once here, not once. I have called the cops living in this house maybe 11 or 12 times. 2 times. One time, a black cop came to my house. His name was Officer Henley. And I'm talking to him. And in the midst of me talking to him and telling him what I'm going through, he walked away from me because he's related to the people here. Okay? He's related to them. So what was happening to me didn't matter to him because I was already labeled as a crack addict, a whore, something awful. I called the police again one day. A white cop came here and I'm telling him what's going on. These people are coming up against me. They're fighting with me. And I'm trying to live and raise my child. He's autistic. And I'm trying to raise a black man. And this white cop looked at me and said, you can't call your family? Do you have any family members that you could call to come? And that right there, I said, "Are you serious? Really?" So by calling the police to get some kind of calm around my residence, this white cop told me, "Can you call your relatives?" For there to be bloodshed, you see? For there to be more bloodshed and deaths and things like that. I'm in the South. No, I'm not going to call my relatives, my male relatives, to bother any any kind of address any kind of issue that's going on with me in my life. And I'm this is happening in Black America all over. That is not cool, and it should be addressed. It should be addressed. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to elaborate on it. No one wants to point that out, but I am going to point it out because there are reasons why these people do what they do to us. There are reasons they do these things. Take, for instance, if you have a family member in the hospital and you don't visit your family member, the staff will mistreat your family. They won't be as caring because there will be no one to report what they're doing to. You understand? So there's no one to report this racism amongst Black people in the hood. But here I am, a voice ordered by the voice of the Almighty. It is not fair. We can't play that pointing blame game. No, if you and another woman or man get into a fight and you Black, it could have been 3 years ago. They will still keep on coming at you. If you go and try to apply for a job and that person you got into it with, aunt or uncle, is the manager, you're not going to get hired. That is not cool. It is not fair. It is not cool. And it should be addressed. There is a calling on my life, and I'm not going to be limited because of my past or someone's opinion of me. When our little sisters are out there alone, things happen. Black and Missing. Has anyone ever tuned into that show? How many Black people done got abducted and missing and never found? And then we say, well, they're not going to look for us because we're Black. We're Black. That's not fair. It is not fair to overlook the hidden truth. It is not. We cannot let this keep happening. Somewhere along the way, we have got to stop killing each other, discriminating against one another. If you live in the hood, in the neighborhood, and they know anything about you of any kind of addiction, and you are a woman, they will bother you. They will pick at you. They will call you names. Every day, I am called out my name. Every day, this happens. It is not fair. And the only thing we can get is a video of white people doing things to Black people. It's a reason why they do what they do to us. They judge us accordingly to the neighborhood hatred in the inner city. A lot of these people have dropped out of school. They're young. And the older ones, they don't contribute to nothing positive in these people's lives. They feed them negativity. The older Black men talk about Black women too. And the music is not helping at all. It is not. I saw a video of a rapper sliding a credit card down a sister's butt. What does that say about Black women? What does that say? It says something very negative. In my opinion, that's what I see. And I know other Black people see it too. No one wants to speak on it. No one wants to talk about it. They're just going to keep pointing the fingers at racist white people. In the hood or in the projects, if a young lady doesn't like another young lady, they go to the rent office to get those people put out with their kids. They don't care. They're heartless towards each other. Really. So when I see, when we stand up for ourselves or when we see an unjust being done to a Black person by white people and we stand up, that's a good thing. What about the unjust of Black people against Black people? In the hood, when people turn a blind eye because they don't like her, they don't like him. The landlords don't fix our things because they think that we're just going to not say anything. Not me. If it's not right and you won't fix it, then I know who will. We get together and picket when we're being done wrong by banks and stores that won't hire Black people. But if we go for a job and the manager is Black and their relative or good friend got a problem with us, we won't get hired. When I moved in this house, I had caseworkers and they were Black and came in here and pretended to sign paperwork for me to be moved from this place. This woman did not turn in my paperwork, Christy Smith. She did not turn my paperwork in. She said if her manager, her director knew that it was me getting this house, she wouldn't have gave it to me. I did not know who her director was. So I said, how could she say that or he say that? And I don't know them and they don't know me. But it was said and it was done. When I found out who the director was a woman named Joanna Taylor. And I confronted her with that statement. And yes, naturally, she denied it. But it was said, and I have proof that Christy Smith didn't turn in my paperwork because I'm still here 4 years later, and I wasn't supposed to be here this long. Okay? All that comes from the fact that they know a woman that do not like me. And why this woman don't like me is because she's involved with my son's father. Now, this is the kicker here. This is really going to get you. She's a police officer, a hood rat in a police uniform with a badge. And the reason why the police won't come help me when I need help, walk away from me, make those stupid comments like go find your family to help you, is because of her. I am tired of being docile about that. I am very, very much so. The whole neighborhood, unjust. It is no surprise when I saw 5 black cops beating a black man over a relationship that one of them lost. Only 2 were convicted and 3 were acquitted. Those 3 that was acquitted is just as guilty as the 2 that was convicted because they stood there and watched. And they had on cameras their uniforms. When those 3 white guys, well, 2, killed Aubrey, one white man videotaped it and he is locked up with his friends. Now, come on. Do, I don't see justice being done when it came to those brothers being killed, hurt, and harmed. When our little baby sister got shot in a car, mistaken identity, a little girl in Atlanta, Georgia, killed, blacks discriminating against blacks. That needs to be addressed. That child's mother couldn't even speak. It is unbelievable, but yet believable. This, what happens in Black America, is terrible. It is awful what they do to other Blacks. And chime in. When some Blacks are in power and they have authority, they misuse it. Just like this female cop that rides through here, speeding down the street when she get past my house. If I go on the porch, I hear sirens in the distance. All over the DNP game. Now you can put those words together. You know what I'm talking about. Black people die over some senseless, stupid things in the hood. And the number one thing is the DNP. Sex, relationships, fail. The bigger woman always gets treated bad. In this situation, I had to be the bigger woman. Because if I wouldn't have stopped being intimate with him, my son's father, then he would have kept doing that. I had to stop that. Yet, I am still being picked at, still being bothered, still being harassed, still not taken seriously because a lie is believable. It's all according to who telling me. That's what the saints say. That's what my mama say. It is not fair not to put it all out there. When Pookie and Sean get together and they get in a fight and one killed the other, I don't see no Black people with picket signs around his mama house saying Black Lives Matter. I do not. Have you? back and forth, back and forth. That's how it goes. Back and forth until someone dies or are hurt bad. Back and forth. That is not fair. We don't want to hurt our people. Our people force us to do these things. They force us to fight back. It is awful. It's summertime. And instead of these young black males in this area looking for jobs and trying to like better themselves, they're not doing that. They're being very disrespectful in the wee hours of the morning. It is not fair that they're not being addressed. When we call the police in the hood, it is like calling the police on the police because they relate it some kind of way. They know who are the real troublemakers and they are not doing anything about it. Because that could be their uncle, aunt, cousin, sister, good friend of the family, in law. Yes. And it is not being addressed. It is not fair to us as black people who have a purpose in life and we want to live better. We want out. Our people try to keep us in. They do that. And it's true. Instead of helping each other in these areas, these hoods, they'll pull you down. I should not be discriminated against because of my past life. That happened 12 years ago. I should not be. But because I'm a threat to them, I am a threat because they are easy to expose. And when someone is exposed, a conspiracy, any kind of bad, corrupt organization, they will hate the people who know the real them, who has seen the real them. So every day for the last 4 years living here, I have seen their truth, and they hate me for that. They politic in these type of neighborhoods in area. They politic against each other. Who's the best? They discriminate against each other. If you don't have as much as they do, oh, you're nothing. You're nothing. If you have a past life of any kind of something that was bad in your life to you, in your mind, and you change it, that's a threat to those who won't change. It makes them look bad to reflect on the fact that they haven't done anything to change their lives or situations. I am a reflection of what they cannot do, their failed attempts at life, how they gave up, how they gave up on themselves. If you drop out of school, you have given up on yourself, on your future. So leave the little kids alone who go to school, who are aiming for higher heights in life. In these neighborhoods and areas, it is like that. And we try to escape these places. My music is my escape. My podcast is my escape. Helping my sisters out there in the storm still stuck on crack cocaine, that's my escape. That's what I'm doing. Something meaningful and powerful. but still discriminated against by my own people, Black people. As I look back in time and I go over speeches by Dr. King and Malcolm X, Stephen Biko, Nelson Mandela, when I see these leaders who were killed so that we could have a better future, go to school, have good books, live in better neighborhoods, I cry for them because they were taken trying to do something good for the greater good for Blacks who now don't even care about education. Some of them don't. They don't care about it. And then there are the neighborhoods, the conditions, bad streets, potholes, trees hanging over barbed wires, old buildings, abandoned houses. They don't pay attention to that. They won't call the city and say, we need our street paved. We need speed bumps on this street because there are children playing in this area. We're tired of our lights going out every time a storm comes. Could you come and trim them? These old rotten trees that could blow down and crush the house. That's not what they pay attention to. They're too busy killing and hating on other Blacks in these areas where there are neighborhood hatred. That is not fair, that it is not talked about. And the way these Black men do the mother of their children, how they talk about the mothers of their children, it is awful. The things that they do to these women, us women, Black women, try to make us look like we're crazy. Something wrong with her. There's nothing wrong with us. There's something wrong with you who talk about us, down bad us. You're betraying your own people. And if you betray your mother of your children, my man, you are lower than a heel. That is not fair because we are already judged by racist white people. The justice system is already against us. And when you see 5 Black cops killing a Black man over the D&P game, come on. When you got a female officer all the time just picking at a woman because she's trying to make herself look better, that is ridiculous. It is awful. It is. That is not cool. It isn't. And it's hidden and it needs to be brought to pass. It need to be addressed. And I'm not afraid to address that. The second case for her, she was a white woman. Lost my paperwork. Well, I tell you, it is not fair. It is not fair for that to happen. It is not right to do what they do to each other in the inner city with all of this neighborhood hatred going on. coming around. Some of them don't even live in the areas that they come into to bring the violence. They live in other places on other sides of town, but they'll come in an area and do that. And if the people that live in these houses in these type of areas allow it, that is against the law. To defamate a person's character, that is against the law. To aggravatedly harass a person is against the law. Aggravated stalking against the law. But when they have the law behind them, they feel invincible. They feel untouchable. And that's not cool. It is not right. It is not fair. So when you put up a show that points out racist white people that do exist, you got to understand it's a root to that problem. You have to understand this. There's a root to that problem, where it stems from. It's not just history, because we know our history. If you know your history, then you'll be like me. You'll be strong. You'll refuse to hurt your people. You'll know about the Jim Crow law. The 5 Black people in Florida Eaton paid $600 and they have to get put out because they're being loud. No, 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 no. That stems from something. There's a root to that problem that is not being addressed. And the thing about it is, they call the police to have these Black people removed. And guess what? They were not the only Black people that went through that in that same day and other days. It is not cool if you cannot go into Walmart and shop peacefully because the manager is Black, your hater is Black, and they turn a blind eye to what's happening. When you go to the grocery store and the same thing happens, it happens. America, it happens. This is why our people are mistreated and killed, because of the way they mistreat and kill each other. It is not fair. It is not right. And when I look at what's going on, I can see it's something bigger here. It's like a cake with an undertaste. That's not a nice taste. Because when I can see that what Roland points out is racist white people, okay? They say what they say, they do what they do, and then they bust out with the N word and get whooped. They get beat up. But look at this though. They keep doing it. It's something very fishy going on up under this. There's a undertaste to that cake. They keep doing it because they want other racist white people with power to see. Even though we are not at fault, neither were our ancestors. They were not at fault either for trying to escape. They were not, but they were done wrong anyway. So when I see these racist white people spitting on black women, slapping a black woman down at the bank, did you see that? When I see that, it's a nasty undertaste there. Someone is trying to prove a point. They may be trying to bring back slavery days. Look who in the chair. Please, if you can't recognize a conspiracy, I implore you, wipe the smog out of your eyes. When black men kept getting killed by racist white cops, and it kept happening, and it kept happening, and no one was stopping this, and it just kept happening. I said, you know what? That's a career, being a police officer. That's a career. That's not like flipping burgers. That is a job. Flipping burgers is a job. Frying chicken, that's a job. If you don't own the business and you work in it, hey, that's a job. Punching in a clock, that's a job. That's a career. There's not a lot of people who will put their career in jeopardy unless something else was bigger. There could be some kind of initiation there. Have you ever thought about that? There could be an initiation, like when kids are in college and they want to get into a frat club. They got to do some really weird stuff, shave the hair off their head, crazy glue it to their naked butts, and just run down the street. After that, there's a grand poobah because they took the challenge and they did it. Initiations. That's what I was looking at. They're not worried because they kept doing it. Even when we had a black president, they kept doing it. My first lady says when they aim low, for us to aim high. But when you stuck in the hood, the people aiming low at you are your people. They're other blacks. That needs to be addressed. That needs to be exposed because they know how we kill each other, mistreat each other, how they talk about black women with foreign men, how they do what they do to black women. I say this right here with strong authority. When you talk about one black woman, my brother, you talk about all black women, even your mother and sister and daughter and female cousins and auntie. You are. You can get mad all you want, but the truth is, you are the root to the problem. That's what the truth is. Definitely. Back in the day, in the 40s and 50s and 60s, if a black family moved into a white neighborhood, they were harassed. They were bothered. Black people that live in black neighborhoods in the inner city are bothered the same way. So the only thing I can see is the fact that they have switched places. They discriminate. One young lady had an issue with the trash people, the trash man, because she went with his brother and had a child with his brother. And then because he was beating her up like where he was in front of her child, she left him. And when she left him, she took out child support. Okay. Now the brother is a trash man that don't pick up her trash sometimes, not knowing that back in the day there was only black men picking up trash. There was no driver that was black. They created different jobs so that they could still be over us. They created corporate, CEO, manager, so that now you could drive the trash truck, but still over you. Our prominent black brothers and sisters and children, this is not fair. Those who escape, who get out of the hood, are blessed. We are blessed. We don't stop thriving. There are lots of celebrities who come from hoods with neighborhood hatred, and they still excel. They got away, they got far, and they don't look back, and they don't allow their children to come into the hoods. They do not. They could tell the difference. They can tell you do not fit in by the way you talk, the way you walk, what you're driving. And when you try to fit yourself into that, you still don't fit in. I do not fit in. And I know that. And I'm not sad about it either. I am so glad and grateful that I do not. When we do the right thing, when we make that turn to better decisions in our lives and we're doing better, we hate it on by our people. We are a threat to them, and we are a threat to racist white people as well, because we have decided we deserve better, we want better, and we went out and got it. And for that reason, we are hated by our own people, our own. All black people don't do this, and all white people aren't racist. I know that. So let's double down, guys. Pick it up, pick it up. Don't hate. At least try to change. Change is good. Change is awesome because we grow up. We do not grow down. We grow up. Black people, you need to hear that. You need to hear this. You need to understand that some blacks are the root of the problem, as why our people are being done wrong out there in the world when we are not there. My Black Life Matters. It doesn't matter if a white person that is racist or a black person takes my life. My Black life matters. And all of you should feel the same way. Our Black life matters. This has been Denise Jenkins with another edition of PLM, People Like Me. I am my sister's keeper. Therefore, I shall keep my sister away from harm. Please like, share, subscribe, send your comments to PLM to Our Father's podcast. Thank you, and I'll be back with more. Peace out.